So, YouTube, I'm not trying to bully women. I'm not trying to disparage women because you guys hold them up here. We can't say nothing bad about women, but we can sit here and talk bad about men as much as we want, and that's okay. Double standard much? This should just be a free speech platform. I don't understand what your problem is. But women are fucked. Like, seriously. And the thing is, most of them don't even realize how fucked that they are. So, what's been happening is they've been conditioning us regular guys to live without them, to be without them, to the guys who try are being rejected, like, in a disrespectful manner, in such a disrespectful manner. Now, I will say too, guys have been very disrespectful to women, so I understand why they're annoyed. They get so much attention. So what's happening right now in our society is women are the golden calf of this era. Guys have been holding up women like they are a golden calf and worshiping them, even buying their bath water, whatever. Like, just some woman selling farts. Her farts, people are actually buying that crap. Literal crap. Dudes are buying it. So, this problem, what I say, I'll always put it back to the guys. The simps, the horrible father figures, but I'm just saying, women don't understand what's about to happen. If they're making money off of this, they're going to see a lot of their revenue go down. Not only is it very expensive nowadays, guys' money is going to run out. Like, these guys that they're treating like basically like a digital husband or whatever, like or a customer. Eventually, their money's going to run out. They're not going to have any more debt to pile on. And there's not going to be as much revenue coming to them. Added to the fact with AI girlfriends, because that's going to be a big thing in the future. AI boyfriend and girlfriends is going to be huge. They're going to see attention go down. They're going to see their value come down to normal, which this is going to be a rebalancing. Hopefully, I'm hoping that there's a rebalancing, a reshuffle in society where guys don't obsess about women as much. They don't hold them up like they are some type of an object, and they treat them like how they are. Like, they are humans. They're not some type of image. They're actual humans. They're not robots. But you're also going to see robots coming out at some point for rich people that are extremely lifelike, and they're going to have men ones too for women. They're going to be the ones right now are, but at some point it could be 50 years. It could be after I'm passed away. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between a human and a robot physically. But this is going to be for the rich people. The rest of everybody else will go with the digital girlfriend. That's what people are going to go for. Because you could see there should have already been a rebellion already in society. The reason why there hasn't been is because of pornography. If you take away pornography, I guarantee you will see a collapse of our society very quickly, because men don't have access to sex. They won't have access to releasing the tension. That's what a wife is for, to release the tension for both sides. Obviously to have kids, but there's a lot of pent-up tension, and if men don't have an outlet to release that tension, which now is like pornography, and in the future it's going to be AI, they're going to get angry. They're not going to give a fuck, and they're going to act out very violently. If you don't think so, cool. If you think that we're just going to go ahead and ban pornography I'm not sitting here advocating for it or either way. I'm just saying you can't just sit here and then just like completely ban it. You can maybe start monetizing it, making people pay for it, something like that. But it shouldn't be, taking it away. Just taking it away, like pulling the rug, will cause a huge problem in our society where it will collapse because guys don't have access to women anymore. So, what I think is going to happen is, like I said, you're going to see a decrease from guys giving women validation on the internet, free validation, whether it's social media, OnlyFans, Twitch streaming, YouTube, dating sites. They're going to see their numbers drop. Now, they might have something that comes out that has like AI, so women can pay, or whoever can pay, to have like artificial robots give you likes and all that, and they might get their validation from that, just robots, and they're not. It's not. Who knows if they already are? They probably don't even know that they already are. But the perception is it's coming from a human. When you get attention from somebody on the internet, the perception is from another human. It's not from a robot. Because if all your comments were or notifications were completely fake, I think people, and they knew about it, I think like their shift of perspective would shift dramatically, because they would feel like, this is a fake popularity. I'm not really popular. Like, yeah, I got 10,000 followers, but they're all bots. They're not even real people. So I'm not even that popular. So it's pretty much just for nothing. So anyway, I think that they're going to see income for these women online drying up big time because of our economy. And I also am saying, and I've been saying this, is the white collar work is going to be going extinct. It's way easier to replace, to download software to replace a person than it is to make hardware, ship it, put it together, maintain it, to replace a blue collar worker. Now, I'm not saying blue collar work isn't going to be replaced. What I'm saying is it's way easier to replace white collar work with my interaction with AI. And the funny thing is, people act like, oh, AI isn't that great. Like they're saying, like, yes, it is. We didn't even have AI 10 years ago. What are you talking about? I've been interacting with AI since 2000, I don't know, 18, 19. And I see it dramatically getting better, whether it's the music or the images or talking to me better. The AI is leaps and bounds better. And for people to think that like AI is just going to sit what it is right now is absolutely absurd. They think that it's not going to progress. It's progressing. It's the fastest progressing technology out here. And for the people to be like, oh, it's not going to do. Dude, what are you talking about? Like, seriously, almost a year ago, my IQ was higher than AI's, than the average AI and the smartest AI. Now, as far as I know, it could be probably higher. The highest IQ on AI is like 155. This is from people that are like way smarter than me that are talking about this. And now they measure IQ differently than it is for a human, but this is what they're saying. So I try to listen to what smart people are saying. So you're going to have, and these women will they're going to be loaded with student loan debt. And they're used to like a privileged lifestyle where they don't really have to come out here and grind away. Not all women, and some women, definitely I see women out here having a grind with me, but a lot of women generally don't have to grind like I do. They don't have to do these dirty jobs. Well, the dirty jobs are coming for you, and there's going to be plenty of them, I think. I think that's what the terrorists are going to do. They're going to bring back these jobs. Oh, well, you want to work in a factory. Well, do you want to be homeless? Do you want to be living off the government? Like, yeah, we're going to have factory jobs coming back, and they're going to be more sophisticated. They're not going to be repetitive, but they're just going to be different types of jobs that people are going to need to be doing. And so women are going to have this like conundrum of, wait, I can't do this by myself, nor do I want to do this by myself anymore. I can't pay these student loan debts. I don't have a job no more. Now I have to go be a trash man. How many women do you think want to be trash men? I'm not saying that some of them won't do it. I'm just saying, like, most of these women out here are so privileged and like fluffy. Yeah, that's one too. But they're so pampered. They're not going to come out here and do these dirty jobs. They're not going to go from like an air conditioning job doing this right here, getting paid to do this, or taking their clothes off, or like even if they're accounting or marketing or whatever in a corporation. They're not gonna sit here and do that and then be like, they're gonna be fine just going here in a coal mine. You think that they're gonna be? You think they're gonna want to do that? The vast majority of them are gonna probably start deleting a lot of their content on the internet. And they're going, the ones that have been like showing themselves and been very arrogant. It's going to be harder for them. Like they're probably popular right now, and hopefully they invest right, because that money can be gone very quickly. It's going to be really hard for them to find a good man to be like, okay, I'll take you on. Wait, okay, so you're basically what's going to happen is guys who have been like just grinding away, like kind of like me, who have been looking like we're pieces of shit on earth. To most women, like, ew, you are this, ew, you only make this much, ew. They're gonna be looking at me and being like, or a guy like me in my position, being like, he's got a roof over his head, he's got food in his belly, he's good, he's got a decent job. Maybe I should just try to be a girlfriend, maybe a wife. Maybe I should start being more feminine. And I think that women, hopefully the next generation of up and coming women down the future, they see the mistakes from like current women and they're like, I don't want to go down that path, because feminism isn't for every woman. And that's the thing that women have been lied to, is they've been pushed like feminism free, like compete with men, and it is completely unnatural for them. A small minuscule minority of women have that mindset, have that manly mindset. But the vast majority of women are feminine. They want a relationship. And basically what's going to happen is guys are going to hold all the cards coming up very soon. The people in my position aren't going to be being looked down anymore. We're going to be looked at with like, oh, okay. It's going to be wild for people who have been humble, who have been beaten down and mocked and ridiculed and survived all this shit, being all of a sudden being like propped up like they're something special. And it's going to be weird for them. Hopefully, like, a lot of guys don't resort back to how men were back in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, and they took for granted what they had. Hopefully people come back together, and that's my hope. And I think technology, what's happening right now, it is dividing us, but it could bring us back together. Something I was telling my kids today, and I've said before, but like this desk right here, it's like fake plywood, right? It's fake wood. I don't know what it's made of. Probably like a bunch of wood that's glued together, like wood that was like on the floor, and they just picked it up and then they put it glued. Now it's a piece of fake plywood. Well, this desk made by a real human, like, so in the future, like, this will be all made by robots and everything like that, and it's going to be all generic and very easy to create. And what drives value is rarity. So that's what drives value. When I was telling my kids, I said, like, if you want to collect something, it's better to have quality over quantity. Unless you shouldn't be collecting something for me as baseball cards or football cards or whatever. You shouldn't be collecting a mass, having like a huge collection, unless like you're trying to display it or something like that. Whether it's like toys, Funko Pops, and getting the cheap stuff is stuff that you like to collect, is something you like to look at or whatever. But if you're collecting for value, which like a lot of people like to collect for value, you would rather have one or two or three really expensive, valuable things opposed to a bunch of stuff that is like mediocre or generic, and it doesn't have a lot of value. And like I said, unless you want to display it. So if I was to make something like this handcrafted in the future, like the Amish do, I think it would be more it would have more value than what's put out there on the market in mass production, generic mass production by the robots. Because I just feel like people will see there's more craftsmanship, there's more detail, it's better quality. I think they're gonna mass produce a bunch of cheap stuff, kind of like right now. So, but who knows? 100 years from now, they might be able to like recreate like what we do. You know what I mean? And just make things more authentic. But I'm saying like going forward in the next 50 years or so, something like that. That's what's probably going to happen. And then the same thing with videos or music or any of that. I just think that people are going to be more sensitive to real things as opposed to like phony fake things, like generic, whatever it is. Stuff sounds too perfect. People like to go to live events for like a concert because there's they play it pretty good, but there could be a little mistake here and there. When you go to the studio, they make it like perfect. They make the song completely perfect. And that's what people are probably going to... Everything's just going to be too perfect in the future. And I think that there will be a push for people that want a little bit of imperfection because that shows the human side. When everything's too perfect, everything's the same. Everything feels the same and feels fake. Like when I'm looking at these women nowadays who... all done up in makeup, they got their hair done, they got their nails, they look flawless. They look flawless on here, but it just feels so fake. And I'm more attracted to women that don't have makeup. So, yeah, I think that people in sometime in the future are going to want authenticity instead of like mass-produced feigning. It's going to be like a human doing something, creating something is going to be like a Michael Jordan rookie card or something, like a high value compared to the 90s baseball cards, that are basically worth nothing because they mass-produce so many of them. You get something like a Babe Ruth card, if they even have a Babe Ruth rookie card. Even if it's in poor condition, to have something like that is so rare. As opposed to just generating a ton of something and it doesn't really have any value because there's so much of it out there. And I think that's what's going to happen a lot. And a lot of stuff will probably look the same. They'll probably have like a couple different things. There's probably not going to be a lot of... And there's a lot of conformity. But at some point, I think that at some point people will gravitate more towards realism, like instead of like everyone being the same, they want to be more individualistic at some point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone's just going to be the same person. They're all going to be clones in the future. Who the hell knows? They're all going to want, you go into your house and it's the same as everybody else's. They have the same furniture, the same arts. Everything's completely the same. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I really think that women are about to have the rug pulled hard. Their lifestyle they've been living right now and enjoying, it's about to come to an end very quickly. And especially the women who are single moms, like they're going to be hit the hardest, because guys are like, I would rather bring in a woman that doesn't have any kids than a woman that has kids. And if you are a woman that has kids and you find a guy that will take you in, you're just going to have to, you're literally going to, we're going to go back to like the old times, like really, really quickly, where it's like, get the fuck out. If you don't like this, take you and your kids, get the fuck. If some guy does take that in, if you don't like it, leave. Get the hell out of here. All of you. I don't care. This is the way I do it. And more value needs to be brought to us anyway. So it is what it is. I think there'll be a rebalancing, and I don't think it's going to be a slow, gradual rebalance like I was hoping, guys pull back from the internet and then like kind of wake women up. But I guess they're going to have to be like rug pulled hard. It's going to be, so we've been going up, women. They've been like having their bubble. It's like the stock market or Bitcoin. It keeps going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden it's going to fucking crash. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe their number will just keep going up, and they'll just keep, AI will they'll be fine. They'll be fine with robot validation and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's my video.